Hey guys, today I wanted to talk actually about the Carey Price contract, and I know a few people have mentioned that it was not a good contract, but I wanted to just put out some number here in order to show, compared to other goaltenders, that his contract is actually not that bad, and although it might not be a great contract, it's actually not a too bad a contract. So what we're going to do here is just make some look at some numbers and compare him with other goaltenders. So what I would want to say in this instance is that Carey Price is indeed viewed as an elite goaltender. He's one of the top five goalies in the past couple of years, and there's reasons to believe that he's going to maintain that pace. I know he's been injured, but um, last year he's had a pretty good season, and his contract isn't that bad. So we're gonna look here at just here for Carey Price. If you look at the chart here, last year, Carey Price just turned 30. He was earning $10.5 million a year, and the cap hit was $79.5 million, which was a cap hit percentage of 13.2%. And he played actually 66 games, and he won 35 games. So actually, last year wasn't too much of a problem because the Canadians were not really supposed to win the Stanley Cup and maybe not even make the playoffs. And they didn't even go against the salary cap, so it wasn't really a big deal. So going forward, the salary cap hit will increase. If you look at the past years, it usually increases from $2 million every year. So actually, this is why I projected that after next year, it would be reasonable to think that the cap hit would go from 81.5 to 83.5, after that to 85.5, 87.5, and so on. So if you look at the cap hit percentage, it's somewhere in between 13% up to, well, down to 11%. And assuming that he would play somewhere in between 60 to 50 games until he's 37, and at 38, maybe he'll play only half of the games if he plays that year, actually, because there's always the possibility of being bought out or retiring, or maybe he'll still simply be still really good. Then, what I've done here is actually projected that he would play 60 games until he's at least 34 years old, which I think is reasonable. You would expect somewhere around 30 to 35 wins, and then slowly but surely after that, 58 games, 55 games per year, 50 games, 41 games. The first goalie that I want to compare him with is Henrik Lundqvist. Henrik Lundqvist is actually 38 years old. So he's going to play this year. I don't know how many games. I put 41 just because he could play more, he could play less. It doesn't really matter, and the Rangers are not really contending. But last year he played 52 games. The year before he played 63, 57, 65. So if you look since he was 30 years old, he's managed to play quite a lot of games. And if you look at the average here, he played pretty much 56 games a year from when he was 30 until 37. So that's quite good. And in terms of winning games, he's managed to win about 30 wins per season, which is pretty decent, which is what we project, I guess, for Carey Price. If you look at the average here, 31 wins until he's 38 years old, that would make sense. And in terms of the cap hit, Henrik Lundqvist has always been a goalie at his salary that would somewhere around 12% and down to 10% of the salary cap, which is pretty much the same as Carey Price. If you look, starting from this year at 31 years old, he's at 12.8%, and he's going to go down all the way to 11% if the salary cap doesn't increase more than obviously. Another goalie I wanted to compare him with is Pecorino. Actually, if we look here at his stats, you'll notice that Pecorino is, as of today, he's 36 years old. Last year, he played 56 games. The year before, he played 59, 61. So he played, since he was 31, he played pretty much over 60 games a year. So that would, it's not too far-fetched to think that Price could do the same. He's also had the 36 wins per year, which is pretty good. And his salary cap was somewhere around 12%, 12.3%, down to about 6%, which is his new contract that he's actually earning $5 million per year. But during his prime, he was signed at a salary cap hit of about 12 to 10%, which is good. So for elite goaltenders in the NHL, that's what you got paid now. Your number one goalie has to be paid over 10% if he's in this elite category. These are goalies that can play over 60 games a year. In the same case, they usually win at least 35 to 36 games a year, which is really good. Another case that we can look at is the case of Marc-Andre Fleury. So Fleury is on track to do another 2 years at $7 million, where his cap hit percentage is about 8.5%. Just before that, in the rest of his career, over 30 years old, he was somewhere in between around the 8% in terms of cap hit, and he's managed to play pretty much 51 games per year, and he's managed to win pretty much 30 wins per year, which is pretty good. So this is why, if you look at Pecorino, you look at Marc-Andre Fleury, you look at Henrik Lundqvist, it's fair to say that Carey Price could do at least as good as these guys, if not better. So this is why I think you look at, until he's about 35 years old, you can have him around 60 games a year, and over 30 wins per year as well for his team. So this is actually quite reasonable. I think Price will be able to do that, and the Canadians will have a good contract. I would probably say some of the factors that you need to be worried about is the injury factor, and what if the salary cap doesn't increase as much. I'd be doubtful that it doesn't at least get $2 million on average per year, but you never know. So that's pretty much it. I'm gonna do other videos, but hope you liked it. If you did, please like it and join the channel. Otherwise, leave a comment if